Okay, I'm at the next step of getting this Donkey Kong Jr. into almost perfect quality. Um, when I got it, it didn't have any side art on it, and I picked this up. This is actually a second. It's got, the mask is on there really, it has adhered really well, so it comes off difficultly, but it should be fine. So what I did, I've taped it up, I got it in position. Now I did it a little bit different than the actual factory position. I moved it about 1/4 of an inch to the right. And the other thing you want to do, and you can't see it here, because at the bottom, where's my camera angle? Well, let me see if I can just do this. Okay, so there's the bottom. And I've got a square here, because the only place you can line this up is on the bottom, because it's rounded on top. So I got this here, so it's square at the bottom. So it's, and I've taped this. Now this tape's obviously not going at a square angle, so it throws you off a little bit. But this is taped here, and taped it all the way up, and I've taped it across here. And you'll see why in a minute. Actually, you can't even see where I pointed up. Okay, you can just see the top of it. All right. If you're ever buying a camera for doing YouTube videos, don't get a flip. You gotta do anything close, and don't get a flip if you do anything far away. It sucks for both of them. Okay, so the first step here, you want to have some tools for doing this. Tools I got here, J roller, and that's for rolling out any bubbles in it, and just like a scraper, just kind of to scrape it out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel back the top ones here. This. It's now positioned based on so you want to bend this down. This is my first time doing this, so we'll see how this goes. Oh yeah, is that the mask? Nope, they got it right there. Okay, so you want to peel this back. And actually, a piece of tape wouldn't hurt here. So we don't want it to pop back up on this while we're doing this other stuff. So we're going to bend it down, but not too much. That taped down like that. And then you take this backing and you cut it off the top. So you got that. Now what we're going to do is release the bottom here. We're going to put a little bit down. Work it real slowly. Only air bubbles in it. What I'm going to do is take this. It's not a great idea to tape it out like this. Yeah, you rip yourself, put the tape on the outside next time. probably what I should have done, I didn't go far enough. I should have come down further to do this, where I had a little bit more space, because this could possibly shift while I'm doing it. So I got to be next other side. When I do the other side, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to go a little further down. Okay, so we got that adhered there. The next step is to take this tape off. I always wondered how they did these things in the factory. Did they actually put that much care into putting these things on, or did they just throw them on there? I mean, the one I had, you could tell the original artwork was probably in a pretty good position. I've never seen one that looked really bad, but you know. I guess when you do it all day, you get really good at it, and you don't tend to spend a lot of time on it. And you probably don't care as much, so you probably don't make as many stupid mistakes either, you know, fiddling around. There's a little crease in the mask, and I wonder if that's actually in the artwork too. Again, I paid $45 for this artwork, so it's not a huge deal. That's both sides for $45, so it was inexpensive. Okay. So now the next thing you need is a tube. I have one. Of course, it's a lot easier if you lay it down. But I'm not laying this cabinet down. So you take this. I gotta get a little bit off first before I start putting. You know what? With the art here, I shouldn't actually need the tube so badly. It's pretty stiff backing on this vinyl. Yeah, you take the J roller, you work your way down slowly. Are you still recording this? Yeah, we're still going along good. It's always good to check. Alright. So while we're doing this, I'll tell you that I started a podcast, and essentially what it is, I drive 100 miles a day, 50 miles both ways to work and home. And so that takes me, you know, about not really 2 hours, more like an hour and 35 minutes or so, you know, depending on highway speed and stuff. You know, in the wintertime it can be much longer. And yeah, I'm not gonna let it bother me if it ends up crooked. I put my best effort into this, you know, it's just experience. But yeah, so I'm doing a daily podcast, you know, weekdays, and it's at podcast.tylaurie.com. That's, you know, if you don't know how to spell my name, it's Tighe. Last name's Laurie, L-O-R-Y. You'll see if you look at my podcast, my YouTube channel, it's my name with my middle initial, K. And yeah, so I talk about games. I call it Ty's Daily Community Video Game Podcast. That's a very long name, but you know, it's just something to do. Actually, I never really listened to podcasts much in a long time. I mean, back when they were new, back I guess the late '90s, when podcasts first kind of came out. When the iPad came out, iPod. I mean, people were doing it before there was an iPod, but they didn't call them podcasts. So, and also my podcast is available on YouTube. Just search my first name Ty, and you'll get it. There's nobody else with that in there, so that's an easy way to get to it. It's also linked from my website, and I'm also in Stitcher's streaming media, which is a really cool app you can run on your Android or iPhone, and rather than having to sync your podcasts to it, it streams them live. Of course, it's going to use your data if you're not on a hotspot. So keep that in mind. Don't blame me if you get a large bill for your data plan. Yeah, so you know, I just talk about arcade games, video games, some other things. Sometimes I talk about Star Trek, and whatever else is going on in my life. And it just started, so I've only got 9 episodes going so far, but it's daily, so you'll see, you know, unless I'm not feeling well or something, they'll have a podcast every day of the week. Of course, it'll be lagged one day, so the Friday one, obviously, you don't get on Saturday. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to getting this all the way down. Let's see how this goes. I don't think we got any bubbles. The real question is, boy, that does not look square. That looks like it's just drifting over. Oh well. I'm gonna stand back. There's nothing I can do about it now. Yeah, no one's gonna notice it. It's on the sides anyways. Pops. It means I got an air bubble in there. Right there. That one out. It's a pretty big one too. Peel back. No, there's no going back. See what happens when you start to rush. But a small pinhole will fix that issue. We'll get to that later and get this all the way on. square this up and see if it's square on the bottom. Got the seat in here. It's not. It's only off by a tiny bit. So it's square. Let me step back and look at it. It doesn't look bad. Now, I'm taking these air bubbles. You want to take care of them before you take the mask off, because the mask is what protects it. What I'm going to do is 2 air bubbles on this thing that are really on the larger side. And I'm just going to just poke a hole in them. There's one. There's the other one right there. Kind of poke the hole in the edge that you're going to roll the air out to. So let me try this side. And you see that? It just went right away. Boom. It's gone. See if you can come this way. A little bit of a hole, a little air bubble there. Just going to go in like this, slight angle, puncture it. Okay, so now that's on. Here's the hard part. It's getting this mask off. At least I've been told. This is going okay. He's on there pretty good though. I'll do that. Now, what you could do if it were really hard to get this mask off, and you couldn't do it, like I'm able to do this. You could try. You gotta be careful. I would probably try some denatured alcohol, and what I mean by denatured, I mean some of this SLX. I wouldn't be very careful with what you use, because you kind of want to loosen the glue up, but you don't want to take the ink off either, though. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but on the side of this cabinet, the operator had it. The only thing that was really bad on this cabinet, other than a missing side art and having a monitor that needed some work, and, well, I actually replaced the control panel, but that wasn't that bad, was that the operator had actually drilled holes right in this area to make the cabinet extra secure, so that you can't punch the bezel out to get inside the cabinet. Now, even if you did punch the bezel out, there's no way to get down the coin box inside one of these cabinets. So I don't know what they were thinking. I suppose you could get back and maybe undo the lock from the back, but then it's a real pain to get into the coin box either way. That's why I adjusted moved it a little bit to the right, is because I wanted to make sure I covered the lower hole is covered by the, matter of fact, I can't even feel it. That's right there. There's one of the holes. You can kind of see it a little bit if I really look. I filled the holes in and painted them with the same color, color matched paint. You want to make sure that you put, when you're doing something like this, you want to make sure you color match the paint underneath, or else you'll see it through the artwork. And I just happen to have Donkey Kong Jr. color match paint that I purchased for the Play Choice, and didn't need it for this really. I mean, I did, since I had like this little chip here, and I touched that up, and there's a little tiny chip on the control panel. But other than that, the only places I painted were the 2 bolt holes on this side and 2 bolt holes on the other side. And on the other side, I don't know if I haven't laid the artwork on it yet to see, but it might not cover the upper hole completely. But I think I could adjust that as well. I just got to decide how much I want to adjust it. I mean, you're not looking at both sides simultaneously. You can't do that. So you couldn't tell if I put one piece higher than the other, you know. Just rip that right off there. So we're making our way here. My J-roller again. I'm going to roll over this mask, get any dust off of it first. It's one of the things you want to make sure you have it clean. I'm just going to gently, not as hard, roll that spot out a little bit. Just make sure that's it here. And a little bit here too. Okay. Alright, so you got a little bit of adhesive along the edge I'll have to clean off. That looks pretty good. One thing left to do on this is the bolt holes. So you see I just poked through here. That's one bolt hole. There's the other one. Here's the bolts. This is the monitor supports. Now I think I'm just going to put a little crosshair on this thing before I put it in. So I'm just going to put this bolt and push down a little bit so I can see where it's going. Okay, so I'm going to make another cut. There's one bolt. It's not in all the way yet. Lost a nut. One. Alright, now it's the bracket's turn. Can you even see what I'm doing? Great, you can. Carefully move this around. There it is. Yeah. I got you. Use my ratcheting wrenches. Make them easier. That doesn't look messy. When you put these in, you want to put a little bit on each side at a time, so you don't crank down on one, and then the other one's all super tight, and the other one's loose, because you'll get it all crooked. Alright, so that's in. Put the extra nuts on, the lock nuts. That's nice and tight. Okay, so that side is essentially done. I'm just going to do one more thing. I'm going to take cloth and some denatured alcohol. I'm going to do this like right along this edge here. There's some adhesive. Just going to wipe it off. Okay. Just going to brown gunk off. So there is a little, if you get really close, you can see a little crease in this artwork here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to see if I can roll it out a little bit more. It's really not something you would even see unless you got up to it, but this is just part of it. It was a second quality. So that's about as much effort I want to put into it. If you do too much, then you end up wrecking it. So. Alright, looks pretty good. It's hard to tell if it's level or not, but it's square to the cabinet. So let's try to measure it one more time. Actually, it's square. It's right on square. Okay. That's one side. What we're going to do is I'm going to actually take this off so you can get a close-up look at it. Where did I set my magnifying lens again? Here it is. Okay. I'll hand hold this one because my tape is getting a little... Okay, so here Get it nice and close. I'll show you where the crinkle is. You see that right there? But it's really not noticeable. The artwork is beautiful. It's fantastic. And then here I can show you. You can see a little bit of the brown there. I'm not going to work it too hard. I'm going to let the artwork actually sit for a while before I go crazy on it. There, so maybe I can get you a long shot. Let's see, I have to walk like 20 feet away to get the full cabinet in. There it is. Yeah, I'm not going to go further than that. But you can see. So there it is. One side's down. Now the other side I still have to do. And I want to let this one side here, getting close again. This is where I've been touching it up. Now this I'm just having a hard time with touching up this this bolt hole. Been filling it in, and it just kind of still doesn't look perfect. You'll see it through the art, or you wouldn't see it if it doesn't cover it. And this one here, let's see, where are you? That one there, you can see it too. Really well, better than you can see it when you're looking at it in person. Yeah, so I'm going to put some. I painted it because that actually helps it kind of set in a little bit better. Because it seems like when you put more Bondo in there, it'll actually kind of shrink in there. And so I'm just going to put another bit of Bondo in those holes. Kind of taking it easy though. I don't want to be painting this whole cabinet. I want to just touch up a little spot. But you can see the color. The color is exactly the same. So it's not going to be a huge deal. And this will be covered with artwork. That one will definitely be covered. So I want it to be more smooth than I want it to, you know, just so it doesn't show through. And this one will probably be covered, at least half of it will be covered, like to this point. Let's see here, I'm going to use the tweezers. Like, the artwork actually went over, like, in the original one, covered, like, that much of it. Here's the other ones. And that's Donkey Kong's hand on that side. So, yeah, so I just got to get this piece of side art on, and then put the monitor mount in there so I can get this monitor in there. And that's pretty much it, except for to replace that coin sticker right there. I've got a brand new one to put on it, and the 25-cent coins stickers there. So, you know, that's it, besides any kind of you know, polishing of the control panel. Oh, another thing too is this there's like a laminate that's on top of this to make it smooth, and it actually was coming off, and I just used my heat gun to heat it up, and the glue just melted down. It's just like hot glue, it's glued on, so you can just do that to get it to stick back down again if you have that happen to your Donkey Kong Jr. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and I will have some more videos for you. And just a quick look over here, you know, here's some of the stuff. This little, oops, I gotta move that bucket. I got a red tent, and I've got this Star Trek Next Generation to show you guys. This works great. Yeah, and the other thing I'm going to be doing too is, I've got stuff on it right now, but got this Quicksilver pinball, and I need to just do some power supply work on it to get this one working. It actually worked for about 10 minutes when I first got it. It's a really awesome pinball machine, just in its artwork. It's kind of that Geiger guy, the guy who did Aliens, in its style. Although it's got like a font from like a diner, it's kind of funny. But it's all painted silver, and that's not something you normally see, so I really liked it, and I got it for really dirt cheap. So this is just like a fun project to work on, and you really shouldn't need too much work on it. It's really in great shape. So that's it, guys.